it and make sure that I am live. And if I'm live, give me a shout out or a thumbs up or something. Tell me that I'm here, because you never know for sure if I am until someone lets me know for sure. And hope that I am. I have something I want to show you tonight. And yeah, good. I'm getting some hearts here, so I must be coming through. Hopefully my volume is good. And if you're watching this as it's posted in a group later, you can just skip all this beginning part here where we have to do this little bit of chitter chatter. Hey, Justin, thank you. Hello, Mr. Torrin. I hope you're having a good drive back home. Hopefully you're already home, but I know you're traveling right now from the holidays going back home. I wanted to jump on here and do something, show you all something. I've been diving into some numbers. Was kind of excited about sharing this, especially with new people like Justin and Torrin. This will be somewhat beneficial for them, but less beneficial than it will be for newer people. But for all I know, Torrin may say it was terribly beneficial for him too. So I hope it will be. Hello, Mr. and Miss Busby. Glad. And when I see y'all's name come up, I never know if it's Jason or if it's Sarah that comes up. So y'all excuse my bad voice. I've had this lung thing going on for several weeks. So a whole bunch of us out there. And Gay had it too. And she and I haven't seen each other in months. And Andy and Deanna and their children all got hit as well. So it's been going around. So here's what I want to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. If you're coming on late, you can just rewind it back to the beginning and see this. I want to talk to you a little bit about the 30,000 foot view. And I'm going to show you something tonight that you probably have never seen before. I've never heard of it being shown before. This will be the first time I think it's been shown. I definitely know it's the first time it's been shown in Amazon Seller Tribe. I haven't seen anybody else complete or do the math on this. Now, what happened and what brought this about was I woke up this morning at about 2:45, could not go back to sleep, and I just decided to get up. So this is Sunday. So I got up about 3:30-ish this morning, 3:25, got up, went to my recliner, fired the computer up, and this was on my mind. So by 4:30 this morning, I had this all figured up and laid out in a spreadsheet, waiting until tonight to get here and be able to sit down and show this. So hopefully this will mean something to all of you. I'm going to turn the closed caption off at the bottom so those words keep coming up, stop coming up. So here's what I want to talk to you about. A lot of people would have you to think that Q4, and I've actually heard this said by well-meaning people that had never dove into the numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 6 years worth of our numbers quarter by quarter and show you percentage-wise how that compares to the total of sales for the year end. Okay. And when I do this, I think it will be eye-opening for people, again, especially for newer people or for people, not just newer people, let me correct myself, for people that's possibly looking at this to be a career. See, let me explain something to you. The reason that some people in life succeed at business while others don't has lesser to do with education and more to do with view. What kind of view? 30,000 foot view. So what I want to do tonight is to give you a 30,000 foot view of Amazon sales, year-round Amazon sales. Okay. As long as you're focused on scanning apps and the next big sale and what's the best repricer and which one does this, and what, as long as you're focused on that, you'll miss the 30,000 foot view. It's only when you see the big picture that you can get big. As long as you're focused on the little picture, that's all you'll achieve. So what I want to try to achieve here is to get you to see the 30,000 foot view. And here's why. My partner coined, Gay Lisby, she coined the phrase 2, 3, 4 years ago to create the most seven-figure sellers in the industry. Love that. I thought, wow, that's such a powerful phrase. And Gay and I have been marching to that beat and just marching to that and marching to that. Create the most seven-figure sellers in the industry. Create the most seven-figure sellers. Create the most seven-figure sellers. Well, the only way to do that is to get more of you to get a hold of the fact of the entire 30,000 foot view of Amazon sales. If you miss the 30,000 foot view of the trucking industry or the restaurant industry or whatever industry it is, you'll never be successful in that industry. You see, small-minded people achieve small things. Okay, Gary, but I don't know if I have a small mind. I don't know if I have small-minded thinking. Then you have to expose yourself to sessions like this right here. When you expose yourself and let people like myself and Gay and Andy and Nate and Taryn and tons of other people out here, when you let these, Adam Casey, who's on here right now, when you let people like that challenge your thinking, when you do that, you have the greatest possibility and the greatest potential for growth to move to that 30,000 foot view. So what I want to do is to get you to that 30,000 foot. You know, when my wife and I started doing this 6.5 years ago, when we first started doing this, she's not a person that's ever been a lot of business. That was always my thing, not something she did. And of course, those of you who know our history know she was my childhood sweetheart, first girl I ever kissed. And we got married buku decades later. We've been married now 22 years. We blended 5 children together, have 11 grandchildren. But she was a single mother when she and I started dating at 37 years old again. She was a single mother, made barely above minimum wage, macaroni and cheese. I mean, barely was making, no child support. You single mothers know the routine. She was living in that. So when she and I got married, she had got baptized, so to speak, into all this big kind of thinking that I did on stuff. And not all of it came to pass. So I don't have no golden track record. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's golden in that God's blessed it. And for that, I'm thankful of. But I mean, I'm not blah, blah, blah. But she learned more of this. So when we started doing Amazon, a lot of this stuff challenged her thinking. Okay. And as we went on with this and pioneered with this and grew at this, she started more and more seeing the business side of this. Phrases like in tribe coaching, you hear me talk about all the time, make the spread, make the spread, make the spread. Okay. And now she says it all the time. Yeah. Make the spread, make the spread. Okay. And when you learn that 30,000 foot view thinking of stuff, you can make a ton of money in a lot of businesses, not just this one. But you got to learn and you got to have your thinking challenged, which is why you come in to this arena where people like me challenge you and get you to see the bigger picture. Now, keep in mind, again, for newer people, I didn't have no raising in this. My people are blue collar. I was raised on the lower end of middle class, high class as far as morals and ethics and life. I mean, I was raised with good people. Really salt of the earth, good people. Money, we had none. Okay. We were broke. We were poor. I didn't get to do things in school that other kids did. I wore green jeans when other kids wore blue jeans. I didn't get to go on field trips. A lot of other kids did because they had the money for them. And in my freshman year, a $5 school trip. That's what it cost to go on. I didn't have it. And there were 73 kids, and I believe it was in that class, 72 of them got to go on to that field trip, and I didn't. Big picture, big picture. So I was raised on a small farm, working out in tobacco and watermelons and chickens and things of this nature. And I remember as a child thinking there's got to be a better way to make a living. I didn't like the whole being broke thing. Did not appeal to me at all. Now, I didn't tell my mom, dad that I had the world's best parents. They work like dogs, but they work like dogs for this. And they themselves had ingrained within them the 1 foot view or the 100 foot view, never the 30,000 foot view. So let me jump over and show you a spreadsheet now and show you a 30,000 foot view of 6 years worth of general arbitrage. From my wife and I, we are part-time Amazon sellers. Part-time meaning I have other careers that I do as well. I don't put all of my effort into selling on Amazon. Okay. I just have a thing going. It's an ATM kind of a thing going. We make 200 grand last year. We'll make 200 grand this year, net after all expenses. Again, and repeat, after all expenses, including every loss there is, it's in there. Okay. But I'm going to show you a spreadsheet here and slowly walk you through and show you something you probably have never, I've never ever seen this before, that somebody would break this down and show this. So let's do this. And let me get a hold of the correct button here and we will show you. Okay, right now you should be seeing a Google spreadsheet. And this is our little company's sales broken down by quarter, starting with first quarter 2016. Now we started in June 2016. Our first sale was like June 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that. So of 2015, sorry. So our first quarter in 2016, we sold $188,205. Now, the second quarter, 2016, we sold 228,000. Third quarter, we sold 203,000. Fourth quarter, we sold 279,000. We finished our first full calendar year at 900,000. Okay. Now, first quarter 2017, you can see what we sold: 195,000, 180,000, 110,000. But you notice that 110,000, how much farther down that is. We got suspended in that quarter. So it took us a lot of weeks during that quarter to get ourselves back on track again. So that was a real gut punch for us. Since then, I've been exposed to tons of people who've gotten suspended. Almost all of them, way up in the 90% range, get reinstated. So that's why that one was so low. Fourth quarter 2017, 220,000. It shows how we ended the year. 2018, we went through a realignment process, went to China, started doing stuff differently, opened up a separate account, private label account, and so on. And again, this shows ourselves quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter by quarter. 2019 came along. 215,000 on the first quarter, 217,000, 258,000, 398,000, and $1,089,000. 2020, 355,000 on the first quarter, 347,000. Again, this is general arbitrage. Most of this is OA. Some of it is RA. No private label in this at all. Then 493,000. Now, those that was in, no, I'm sorry, that'll come up in a second. And then 633,000 Q4 of last year. So we ended last year at 1,800,000 for our arbitrage business. Then first quarter of 2021, we came in 350,000. Second quarter, 520,000. That is a big jump. Now, those that was in Tribe 5 know what that jump was. Okay. And then we came and we went from 520,000 to 634,000. Another huge jump that we did there. Now we're getting up into some really, really good numbers. Again, those in Tribe 5, you know what that was. Okay. That was a particular new position I put into my company, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to expose that here. That's part of the Tribe coaching, and it just caused our sales to explode when I did this. And then fourth quarter, we're currently in it right now. That's what that question mark means. We're currently at 2,337,000 as of 4 o'clock this morning. So that will change a little bit too. But now that I've got you to read all those numbers, here's what I want to show you. It's not these numbers. These numbers are not what's really that important. What's really important, folks, is this, is that you understand the percentage of sales made by quarter. And here's why. If we don't do this, if I don't help some of you to see this, you'll be destined to believe that 3/4 of the money that a lot of us make comes in the fourth quarter. That is not true. That is not true. Absolutely is not true. You'll look and you'll see here that in the first quarter of the year, 6 years in a row doing arbitrage, that it's between 15% to 27% of our total year sales. Basically, almost a fourth. Think about that. What if you believed that Q4 is over? So, oh my gosh, it's all over. Might as well wait until next year. Oh my gosh. Might as well wait till next September, start cranking it up again. Then look what you'll lose. Look at the second quarter. The second quarter, we went from 13% of the entire year all the way up to 25% of the entire year. Again, almost a fourth. Go to the third quarter. Third quarter, we went, and if you take that one out, we go from 23% to 27% of the total year's sales in the third quarter. Fourth quarter runs between 31% to 42% of the year. Here's my question that I have to give to you. What would happen in your life if you only focused on 1/4 of that part of your life? Take your marriage. What if you said, I'm only going to devote whatever the effort is that gets me the most result for 1/4 of the time? The other 3/4 of the time of my marriage doesn't matter. What if we did that to God? What if we say, God, I'm only going to give you 1/4 of whatever it is that you deserve and that you want. I'm only going to give you 1/4. The 3/4 of that goes to something else. What if we did that to a car? What if we said every time I fill my car up, I only put a fourth gasoline in it. The other 3/4, I put waste in it because it doesn't matter, right? All that matters is that last fourth, right? Wrong. People that think in 30,000 foot views, they don't think like that. They think 30,000 foot view, the whole thing. We want it all. You take Walmart, for example. Walmart wants the money from the cheap 50-cent stuff they sell up front to the $1,000 computers they sell in the back because of the spread. That 50 cent out of them might have only gave 5 cents for it. So they're making 1,000% profit on that thing. That computer back there, they may only be making 10% on it. 30,000 foot view. How's your 30,000 foot view? You know, a lot of times our 30,000 foot view is messed up because we have blinders on, and our blinders only allow us to see 1/4 of everything we need to see. So how's your 30,000 foot view? Hopefully after this, you'll understand. Now is not the time to let your guard down. Now is not the time for you to roll up the carpet and wait until, mid third quarter next year to start rocking and rolling. That is not 30,000 foot. Actually, to be honest with you, that's very amateur thinking. People that think like that, can you imagine a sports team that said, we're not going to worry about the first quarter of a game. We're not going to, points there don't matter. It's that fourth quarter that matters. You'll be so far behind, you'll never catch up. Personally for myself, and maybe it's just me at my 59-year-old age, but personally for myself, I want it year round. I want my wife's love year round. I want my grandchildren's love year round. I don't just want it 1/4 of the time. I want God's good grace year round, not just 1/4 of the time. So as Q4 wraps up, and we're sitting here today is the 26th. Yes, today is December 26th. We've got 5 days left in this year. So as we get ready to move into 2022, I want to make sure that you clearly understand in no uncertain terms that our sales are year round. Amazon is the world's largest e-commerce site and will, I'm sure, in short order, be the largest overall retailer in the world. And I want to make sure that you clearly understand sales happen all the way around. You could take the biggest sellers here in this group. If they ran their numbers on general arbitrage, that's the stuff you buy at Walmart, Kohl's, Target, outlet stores, TJ Maxx, Ross, all that stuff, that's general arbitrage. OA list, that's all general arbitrage. The people that do that, you'll see that their percentages. So what I wanted to do was to try to help the newer people speed up their learning curve, get up to a higher pace, a faster level, and not take years to understand, I can make money in January. I can make money in February. I can make money in March. I can make money year round. Do not be disillusioned by the big paychecks of Q4 and think they are the only one. For if you do that at your own demise. Don't do that. This is a year-round venture, something that we are proud to live in and work with year-round. And when we do, we have a 30,000 foot mindset. So I wanted to jump on here and lay this out here and get everybody to see this, because I have never seen nobody do this. I've never seen a general arbitrage seller sit down and break it out by quarter over a 6-year span, which would prove to everybody that it's somewhere in the 20 to 25% range every quarter. And then that fourth quarter, it's going to hit on up to the 30 to 39% range in that fourth quarter. And that all averages out to the 100% of the whole year. I don't want to just participate 1/4 of the time. Do you? I don't think so. I think if you want year-round results, you got to understand the 30,000 foot view. This is a year-round professional industry and a professional business we all deal with. And when you do that, you will prosper higher, faster, safer, give yourself more peace, more ease, be of greater help to your spouse and to your children and to the lifestyle that you want to build when you see that 30,000 foot view. Seriously, in biblical terms, which you all know, that's something that drives me. In biblical terms, that's what Christ had to do. He had to have that 30,000 foot view. He had to get way out and see the big picture of what grace and mercy and healing would do. And that causes all of us to want to function more with each other at a 30,000-foot view. It causes me and Gay and Andy and Nate and our close friends in the coaching group. It causes us to love one another, lean on each other, care for one another. That's the 30,000-foot view. People that function with the 100-foot view, they go, "No, you're my competition. I don't want to help you." People that function with that 50-foot view say, "No, I'm not going to teach you any little thing that I do. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I withhold that," because they are that small-minded, that narrow like that. You don't want to do that. If you want to truly function from a 30,000-foot view, the big view, then you've got to see the big picture. And the big picture is, as I've showed you right here, if you take just what we've done this year, the first quarter this year, 15% of our sales came from the first quarter. But folks, that percentage is down because the third and fourth quarters were so high. That percentage is not down because it's low, because it actually was very good. Okay. It was down because we did so good in the third and fourth quarters. Well, those of you, again, that was in Tribe 5 saw what we did right here that caused us to go from 350 to 520. I mean, that is some serious growth to make in one quarter. And what I did is I made one change in my OA operation, one change. And that one change, boom, it made our sales jump by 40%. That's pretty substantial. That's a huge jump. So I wanted you to not look at the individual numbers per quarter, but to see the percentages and to see how much we sell each quarter as pertained to the entire year. And when you do that, it allows you to see the 30, and those percentages are going to stay the same if you're selling 5 million a year, 10 million a year, 15 million a year, if you're doing general arbitrage. So as I get ready to get off here, I'll tell you this, it's been a great year. 2022 is going to be epic, I believe, for a lot of us. But what I'm more interested in is not 2022, 2032, 2042. It's life. It's long range. It's after I'm dead and gone. It's the 30,000-foot view. Even if it's not Amazon, if you've got another business going, I want you to learn to practice to see 30,000-foot view. That is CEO thinking. Okay. That is owner of the corporation thinking. And folks, you can do that even in your small Amazon business. And you go, "Gary, really, can I?" Yes, I'm as small town as any of y'all. Gay is as small town as any of y'all. We're small town people, but we didn't want to stay that way. We wanted to make more, achieve more, have more, travel more, do more, experience more, give more away to charity. We wanted to do that. And we were able to by seeing the 30,000-foot view. So rewind this, write these numbers down, show these to your spouse, your business partner, your children. Let them see that clearly of just exactly how those percentages break down, because I don't want you to phone it in. I don't want you to say, "We're going to play the game, but I'm going to just make sure that I phone it in on the first quarter." You don't want to do that. That'll make you a loser with a capital L, and you'll not experience what the rest of us are experiencing. There's a great life to be had doing this, and several of us are living it, and I want you to have it. So take the momentum, just as Matthew has posted here in the group, take the momentum coming out of Q4 and let that drive you into Q1, 2, and 3 as you start preparing. And by the way, Q4 2022, I mean, it starts in 9 months, so that's not very long. So we need to be cranking. But I wanted to show you from a statistical, numerical standpoint of how the percentages have broke down over 6 years. That's a long time of general arbitrage selling. So thank you, Katie. A lot of people do, Katie. And so believe me, it's not just you, it's a lot of people. And just so you know, I would have too, Katie, if I hadn't had somebody in my early 20s that grabbed me by the collar and said, "Gary, what's limiting?" I'm looking over here because I'm looking at Katie's name. "What's limiting you, Gary, is you have limited thinking." And when they told me that, it hurt my feelings, which normally that's when I grow the most. And I remember writing down on my legal pad, "I have limited thinking." And it stung me. It hurt me. I have limited thinking. I have limited thinking. So I started finding, where do I have limited thinking? Now, do I still have limited thinking? Yeah, but my limits are big. They're way out there. I almost never hit my limits now. They are limited, but they're way out there, and I almost never hit them. But they are still limited, but they're way out there. So Katie, trust me, honey, you're not the only one. A whole bunch of us are that way. And if we practice this, I promise you all, you're going to make more money. You know, Torrin just wrote here 47% from Q4 this year of his total sales, working real hard to even it out in 2021. My Q1 was pitiful, but he's already well positioned for Q1 this year. That's what I want. This is a year-round money-making opportunity. And I just showed you my numbers pulled from Inventory Lab in the wee hours this morning in the dark, sitting in my recliner in there with just my computer light on. And I was loving it. As I was pulling this up, I was thinking, Lord, I hope this helps some people. I hope this causes new people to grasp the vision. You know, the Bible says that young men dream dreams and old men see visions. Lord, I want my vision to get into some of these young people, for them to see year round 30,000 foot view. You know, you have to have a 30,000 foot view to make a marriage work. You have to have a 30,000 foot view to do anything significant. It takes the big view. That's what I want you to have. So I stumbled at this as best I could to try to make an impact. I hope it did. I've never seen anybody show this before. I hoped it would help some of you, that numbers perhaps motivate. If I failed in some way, I tried it, replay it, screenshot it, keep those percentages, write them down. The bottom line is it's going to hit almost 19 to lower 20 some percent every quarter, building as the year goes on, going into Q4, which is going to hit upper 20s, lower 30s for the whole year. And now, again, if you don't sell a lot in the first part of the year, your Q4 percentage will be higher. But see, my sales are more even spread throughout the year. So my percentages reflect that, because I've been buying OA off of lists for, I've been in it 6.5 years. For 6 years, I've been buying off OA lists. So that's why my sales have always been somewhat steadier all the way through that, because I've always kept a supply going. So I'm going to get off here. If you're getting on here late, like I know Mr. Taylor is, hello, Mr. Allen. If you're getting on here late, Alan, hit me up when you're back up in this area. I want to show you the first building we got built. If you getting on here late, rewind this and watch this and screenshot these percentages, because I promise you it'll fire you up when you understand there's almost, not quite, there's almost as much money to be made first, second, and third quarter as there is fourth quarter. Okay. So I'm going to get off here. With that, I'll tell you how I always like to end all these sessions. I love you. Take care, everybody. Bye.